With analysis, former assistant to and envoy for President Trump, Lieutenant General Keith Kellogg. Keith, let's get your take on this. America's goals from the beginning were very, very clear. They can't have nuclear weapons. That's been achieved. According to President Trump earlier today, they have agreed to give up all their nuclear ambitions. To me, the next step would be they'd have to give up that 60% enriched uranium. Otherwise, I don't see how a deal could be struck.
Yeah, Sean, it's good to be with you tonight. Look, I don't trust the Iranians. I never have, never will. The fact is, you've got somebody like they believe, Speaker Gallup from the Iranians talking right now. But I think the president should press his advantage. And I really believe that we have an opportunity to really take down a regime that just survives on hate. And they hate America, they hate Israel, they hate their own people. And we should get rid of a theocratic regime that leads that government. If he does that, it's the perfect triumph for him, because now we have an organization, a government, that is going to basically get along with everybody else in the Gulf. They clearly don't do that right now. And I think, you know, President Trump said something in 1988 with an interview with the New York Times when he talked about taking Carg Island or opening the straits. He's got two amphibious ready groups, Marine amphibious ready groups, heading towards the straits right now. You can actually open the straits. You can take their 80 to 90% of their productive economic opportunity away from them to Carg Island. And I just press that opportunity. The president has the opportunity to do it. What he has done has been historic. He's done something that nobody else has done in going after Iran. And I would like him to see it finish the job. And finishing the job is getting a new government.
Finish the job and never have to go back. Now, the IDF did take out the Quds and Iranian Revolutionary Guard headquarters, which I think is smart. And the president was very clear today. If these talks fail, we'll just keep bombing our little hearts out. At some point, if they continue to target infrastructure in the region, their infrastructure will be targeted. Now, it's very obvious to me that both Israel and the United States has purposely not targeted it for the benefit of the Iranian people. But if they take it to that level, they will regret it. I'm not sure what part of Midnight Hammer and Epic Fury, whatever remaining leadership is there, doesn't understand.
You know, Sean, they're afraid. I mean, I've seen government relations before with nations, and what Iran is really signaling is they realize they're right on the cusp of this thing. And the president can actually continue to push his advantage right now with the Iranians, because I think they're ready to fall. I wish the Iranian people would rise up and do something right now against the Revolutionary Guards, but the Revolutionary Guards still have the guns. They've still got control. You know, on the other side is the army, the Iranian army. They're a separate organization from the Revolutionary Guards. And it's about time they get involved with the people.
All right, gentlemen, we appreciate you being with us. Thank you tonight. Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.